I wanted to talk about something today which has been a huge lesson for me over the past weeks. And this is setting your goals right and setting your expectations right. What does that mean? The reason this has been such a huge lesson for me over the past not only weeks, months, again and again and again, until I finally realized it, was that I finally understood that setting your goals as high as you can is the exact right thing, and you should do that. But what you shouldn't do is setting your expectations too high. Instead, you should set your expectations realistically. And this is something that I believe a lot of people get wrong because people start talking about in podcasts, motivational videos about having unrealistic goals and having unrealistic expectations is what gives you drive, is what actually differentiates you from the people who don't get successful in life. But apparently having your goals really high is something that actually pushes you far, but having your expectations really high and too high is what's going to make you suffer in the long run, and is also never going to bring you the peace that you actually want. I'll give you an example for that, and that was the final click for me personally. When I went into real estate around five or 6 months ago now, I had the expectation that I would just go in, start closing after maybe 3 to 4 weeks. From there on, have an apartment and build my life, everything happy. That was my goal and my expectation. Realistically speaking, my expectation should have been absolutely nothing, because at the end of the day, I came into a business that I actually had no clue of. All I knew was that based off my horoscope, based off the reflection I've done over the past months, that I'm very talented for becoming an entrepreneur and also being able to do sales. And based on that, I set the expectation, okay, I will go in there 3 weeks, maybe hopefully make the first deal. What in reality happened, I didn't close for the first 3 months. And then the war came. And then the company shut down. And now I'm actually in a way better position than before. We closed, we're building our own team now, and everything's going in a way better way than I expected. But what I expected to happen, I trapped myself into this false belief of I will just go in there and close, that I expected myself. So as soon as I understood after 3 weeks, oh wait, I haven't closed, I put the pressure on myself, which got me even further away from the result that I actually wanted. And I realized this now, that this time is luckily over. But I was talking to a friend a couple of days ago, somebody I'm not really in contact with, but who I've been friends with when I was still in Germany. And we're still holding contact here and there. And he's in a life-changing situation at the moment, and he asked me for advice. And to be honest, in my mind, I was honestly thinking, why is he asking me for advice? Because I haven't really shared everything that's been going on here online. And I will do so in the future. But I like aesthetics. I like specific topics. I like specific content. And that's the content that I post. I don't post it to act or look like I'm richer than I am, or to portray something that I'm not. It is actually something that I am, in fact, that I have inside of myself and that I really like. But I understand very well that if you only see this content, you're gonna think, because I know there's been rumors around people thinking I'm doing OnlyFans management. I know people are thinking that I'm crypto millionaire or whatever the fuck. And at the end of the day, the reason people think I made it is just because of, the posts that I do on Instagram, the type of posts, how they look like, and everything. And I totally understand. Again, I'm aware of the effect it has. That's just the content I like to post. But I want to differentiate. That's why I'm posting these YouTube videos nowadays. But this person asked me how he can make it. And then I was thinking to myself, because in my mind, I'm not nearly where I want to be. I'm a lot closer than a year ago, a lot closer, but I'm not nearly where I want to be, in fact. So it was quite funny to me almost that someone's asking me for advice. And this is the advice that I want to give today, is setting your expectations realistically and set your goals as high as possible. Or maybe you should say it the other way around. Set your goal as unrealistic as possible, but set your expectations as realistic as possible. Because if you're really true to yourself, you know what is realistic and you know what's not. And if you don't, you're gonna find out. But just because you see me posting, driving a Lambo or being in a fancy hotel or being here and doing that, doing business, doing whatever, just because I didn't post these things in a year ago, it doesn't mean that I actually made it from 0 to 100 in this 1 year. In fact, the reason I was able to go to Dubai, work for my mentor, do all these things in the videography business is because I've been practicing and learning filming the way I did it, and since I was 12, I've always been into that. And if you add all of this up when it comes to your skill set, it makes sense that I went pretty fast from starting all this around 1.5 to 2 years ago to being able to go to Dubai and live your life here just 1 year later. But in fact, the whole grind and the whole work has been done years before. So don't get trapped. Don't get trapped into this idea of, oh, this guy made it in a year. I need to make it in a year as well. Most of these people haven't made it in 10 years. And then all of a sudden they make it. I know entrepreneurs who've been not making a single dollar for years. I know someone who's been having a company, right, for 5 years, and he made 250 euros in 5 years, and he didn't stop. And then in the 6th year, he scaled it to 100 grand a year. That's what's possible. That's what's possible. But you need to understand that yes, you can put in the work and you can get rich fast, but there's a lot more behind it than you see online and than you actually think. And again, now that I'm in the real estate, I have to learn a lot. And thank God I'm around people who know a lot. I'm around people who can teach me a lot, and I like to learn and I want to learn. I'm learning all these things fast. I've been into off-plan myself for a couple months now, right? But thank God I'm working with someone who's been in the industry for many years, who can teach me a lot, who's doing the closings. All I have to do is bring in the leads, learn, do this stuff. And realistically, I'm going to be a good closer in real estate in 3 years. Obviously, my goal is to be one at the end of this year. But realistically, it's going to be in 3 years. Because you need to learn and you need to understand that if you want to become something from nothing, it takes actually some time, and it is okay to take time. Because I'm 20 years old right now. I'm not 31. I don't need to have kids next year. I don't have a wife that's depending on me yet. I don't have anything. I can live my life. And if I fuck up, I fuck up. But I'll pick my pieces up again and keep going. I've literally been sleeping in the car. I've been eating for a couple euros a day food with the construction workers here because I couldn't afford it. And now there's better times. And way better times will come. But the progress is not as fast as I might have thought at the beginning. So yeah, that's the message I wanted to bring to you today. A little real talk video. I think I'll do these every once in a while here and there. But comment down below what your experience is with this topic. Have you found yourself as well in this trap? Because I have many times, and I see people being trapped in this as well. Yeah. See you in the next video.